What's up, Photography World? Josh Regasso here from theshutterschool.com, and for today's video we have a workflow tutorial. I'm going to go through my workflow for managing my portfolio images and selecting awards. So a lot of times when awards pop up, it can be overwhelming. You got to go through all your images and try to remember what photos you think are the best, which ones you should submit, and having a nice organized system for managing your favorite images will make it easier for you to find your best work, so that when awards pop up and you want to submit, and you can be ready to go. So when I was first doing awards, sometimes I would miss submissions, sometimes it would be a big long ordeal trying to find all my images, and so it's more intimidating to get your images together. Therefore, you're less likely to submit. And one of the ways to increase your odds of winning awards is to constantly be submitting your best work as often as possible. So I'm going to go through my process for organizing my work so that I can readily find my portfolio images that I want to submit to awards. And then I'm going to also kind of go through some of my thought process for how I choose awards. There is the next round of the Masters of Wedding Photography is a contest that I submit to, and this round's deadline is tomorrow, so I want to go ahead and select what I think my 20 images that I want to deliver for those awards. So the first thing you're going to want to do is have an organization system for your portfolio images. So I have a separate NAS hard drive that's automatically backed up that I automatically export all my portfolio images to, and then I have a master portfolio catalog that I'll import those portfolio images to periodically when I'm ready to look at them. So I have a folder for every year because I do so many weddings every year. I have a 2020 portfolio, 2019 portfolio, and just so that I can kind of keep track of yearly what are the more recent photos. Okay, so the first thing I do is at the end of every wedding, I'll take whatever 5-star images I have after editing, and I'll export them to my portfolio catalog automatically, or my portfolio folder. So let's say these were my 5-star images for a wedding. I would highlight them all, right click, and export. My 2020 weddings export preset will automatically send the raw version of these photos to a folder in my portfolio hard drive labeled 2020 weddings. And then later, when I open up my master wedding portfolio catalog, which is a separate catalog I have on my portfolio hard drive, then I can go ahead and import images for that from that 2020 folder. And the reason I break it up by year is just so it's less overwhelming, that there's not billions of images, and then I know which photos I've exported and which photos I've imported a little bit easier if I know they're all from this year. Okay, great. So once you're in your wedding portfolio catalog, you kind of have your own system for rating your images and deciding what you like for your wedding portfolio or award images, etc. So I use a star system to kind of keep track of what's my favorite, and then usually if it's 5 stars, that means it's good enough for my portfolio and maybe awards. But sometimes I want stuff for an award that's not in my portfolio, or in my portfolio that's not for an award, etc. So what I'll do to keep it simple is I create a set of collections to organize images that'll be in my awards. So I make a couple different collections. First, I need an award candidates folder, and that award candidates collection. And that collection is for anything that was 5-star maybe that I decide I want to submit for awards. And then over time maybe as I decide something's either won everywhere or I don't think it's going to win, then I can easily remove stuff from that candidates folder, but I don't have to remove it from my portfolio, so I can keep it 5 stars or however you want to organize it. So some of the other collections I'll have is, first I'll have an awards candidates folder, then I'll have different collections, and I keep saying folder to mean collections, but anyway, I have collections for the different award category organizations. So for instance, I have a set of Fearless Awards candidates, and then I'll have like what I submitted to each collection. So like my last collection I submitted were these 18 images, and what I would recommend is having a separate collection for every award round submission so that you can keep track of what you've already submitted. Maybe you can see, okay, wow, the last 5 times I submitted this award, never got a finalist, nothing, so maybe I should stop and trade it out with something else. Or maybe you'll say, oh wow, there was this one image I could have swore I submitted, but I look back and I never submitted it, and it's been in my portfolio forever, so maybe I'll try that now. That kind of thing. So I've had images that I thought I submitted and never did, and then to finally submit them and get an award. So you want to have a system for keeping track of what you've already submitted before. And the easiest way to do that is to use those collections as deciding what you're going to. And then the last collection you'll have is your winners collections. So the last collection you're going to want is a winners collection. So the best thing to do is every time you win an award, put it in a folder, save that watermarked image to a folder so that you can bring it into your catalog and you can go back and look, okay, this is what I won for Fearless, this is what I won for Masters Wedding Photography already. So then you can quickly look and see, okay, don't submit these images again because I've already won. Or maybe if you win in one organization, you want to know, hey, I won in Fearless, so it should probably win in Masters Wedding Photography, or vice versa. Again, you're going to want a award candidates collection for all the things that you might consider submitting, and then a different set of collections for each individual award organization. And then you're going to want a specific collection for each round. So after I've imported new images and I've spent some time maybe rating new images, I'll look maybe my recent 5 stars and say, okay, I didn't put this in the candidates folder before. This is a new image. Let me throw that in my award candidates so that any award round, any award selections in the future, I can have that in consideration. So then I go to my award candidates folder or collection and look through and see, what do I want to submit this round? And what I do for this to keep it quick and simple instead of rating and sorting is anytime I want to add new updated selections, I'll use the flagging system. So I'll unflag them all, and then I'll flip through and see what hits me the most. So I flip through, and the first thing I'm gonna look for is stuff that maybe was close to winning before, like with Fearless, they have honorable mentions, and I'm gonna tag those right away because if it won an honorable mention, I'm gonna want to submit it to future Fearless or future Masters Wedding Photography competition. Then the next thing is I'm gonna flag things that hit me quickly. So as I go through, I'm gonna unflag everything real quick just to kind of practice this. And I like to refresh my selections every once in a while because I'm gonna go through and just flag some images that I think I'm going to want to consider for this round. And first thing is I'm going to flag images that have won other organizations recently. So for instance, this is Masters Wedding Photography, so anything that was a recent Fearless Award, I'm going to want to flag that. So last round, this girl looking at the bride's dress won a Fearless Award, so I'm definitely going to submit that to Masters Wedding Photography. Then the other thing you'll do is anything that's maybe new and recent that you really love and stood out. So like a recent engagement session, I really like this photo, so I definitely want to try submitting this and seeing if it's got a shot in Masters Wedding Photography. Sometimes when I first take a photo, I love it, and then over time it wears off. So sometimes you think something's award winning just because it's new, but still at the same time, I like to try new images as well as old favorites that haven't won yet, or I think that will win. All right, so for instance, I've got a recent winner, I've got something new as an example, and then the other thing we'll do is say, okay, I know I'm shooting for about 20 images, I'm gonna go through what hits my eye the quickest, the fastest, like definitely. So this one stands out to me, I'm gonna flag that one. This one stands out, I'm gonna flag that one, etc. Actually, this one won previously, so I gotta get rid of that. But anyway, it's just say what for sure. So that's the easiest. What do I definitely know I want to submit? I know I want to submit this because this was an honorable mention. I know I want to submit this. Let's see, this photo because it's something quirky and unique. Okay, and then you'll go through all your flags. If I were to do this normally, I'd have like 30 in here, and you'll drag the flagged images to the collection that you're going to be submitting to. So for instance, this round is Masters of Wedding Photography October 2020, so I've already dragged 27 images in here that are going to be potentially submission images. Okay, so as I went through, so now I've got 27 images, I have to narrow it down to 21. And so a couple things I'll do to do that is you can quickly go through and disqualify something by unflagging it. Okay, but once it's in this collection, you can flag and unflag things, or the other thing I like to do is kind of just slowly kind of rate them a little bit. So anything that's a definite, because I got to narrow 27 down to 21, anything that's definite, I'm going to drag to the top. So this photo won honorable mention. This photo won an honorable mention. So anything that's won in other things you feel like is award winning in another organization, I'm going to drag those to the top. And then anything that you're going through and you say, you know what, this one doesn't, I'm not sure if I want to delete it, but I don't necessarily know if I love it, I'm going to drag it to the bottom. This one actually won before, so I can put that in the bottom. And same kind of thing. So this one won in another organization, maybe I should drag that to the top. This one won in Fearless, so I'm going to drag it to the top. Let's see, anything fresh and new I definitely want to submit. I definitely want to submit this bubble one. I'm going to drag it towards the top. This one I like, I'm not sure if I love it, so I'm going to drag it towards the bottom. And I just kind of go through that process. So the ones I know for sure are at the top, and the ones I'm not sure about get towards the bottom. And then hopefully it's easier. I can look and see, all right, do I have 21 images? I'll look at the bottom 10 and kind of start Xing them out. So let's say I'll look at my bottom 10 and say, this one I don't think strong enough, so I'm going to unflag it. This one I don't think strong enough, I'm going to unflag it. This one maybe. I feel like it's gotten a finalist before. I'm not sure, so I'm gonna just move that up. I like the motion. Maybe I'll give it a shot this time. But I'll go through and just unflag stuff that's not in your top 27 or top 21. So I got to narrow down 6. This one might not be strong enough. I like it, but I'm gonna unflag it. So let's see how many I have. Okay. I'm down to 24. I got to get rid of 3. Oh, this one won before. That's easy. 23. And then so I'll just go through that process till I have 21 left. Head to head, maybe. Okay, I know I like this photo. Head to head, or I'll say, oh, I gotta narrow it down. These two are similar. I just like their close-up, silly expressions. Which one's stronger? Maybe I'll pick this one this time. Maybe I'll pick that one another time. Just kind of narrowing it down until you got 21. Once you're narrowed down to the amount that you need to submit, which this round is 21, they're allowing 21. I'll delete any of the flagged ones from that collection, or unflagged ones from that collection, so that next time I don't get confused on what I submitted. I'm just gonna say it's these 21 images. All right, I'll probably go back another time and review, but anyway, once you have your 20 images, real simple, I select, I export. I have an export preset as well for the awards already. So awards preset, master's wedding photography, and that'll have the automatic sizing and the naming rules that I need, and all in one folder, so that when I go to submit, they're all in one place and they're all the right size. So then I don't have to go look up, hey, how big are they supposed to be, etc. Just have an export preset, makes it nice and easy to export when you're ready to go. Oh, and the other thing is I have the winners folder so that I can go back and double check. So, and then also I can go look at my Fearless Awards, Fearless winners, and make sure, you know, this photo is an honorable mention. I really like it. I'm going to make sure it's in my master's wedding photography for October. It is. So, you know, you can kind of keep track of what you've done before, keep track of what you want to put in every round, keep track of what's won, and it'll make this a nice seamless process for keeping up with your awards. The more seamless you can make your award workflow, the more likely you'll submit. The more likely you submit, the more likely you win. So good luck to everybody. I'm going to do some finishing touches on making my final decisions, and I'm going to submit 21 images to Masters Wedding Photography. Wish me luck. Wish you guys luck too. Get out there and submit some awards and go win some stuff.